Hi, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the Maker's Cave. And today we're going to continue our journey with building the Lamborghini MIURA from Agora Models. This is a 1/8 scale model, all die cast. I'll put a link below to this model and any of their other models. So what we'll do as usual, we'll spread all the parts out. We'll bring you guys forward, give you a top down, and we'll start building. So we're going to start off pack 3 here with stage 16. And we're going to start off with this air cleaner and the frame, which brings the story up. In the last video, you may have remembered me doing this air cleaner frame for the other side of the engine and having a horrible time trying to line it up, where I actually had to cut a little nibbly bit off here to get this to fit. Well, after some conversation with Marvel Phoenix, Todd McWilliams, he noticed that my part looked different than his part. So anyway, after comparing our parts,
phrasing,
I discovered that this part that we did in stage 15, actually stage 10, I'm sorry. This is actually the part that is supposed to come in this stage with 16. If you notice, they look alike. Well, you can't because I can't keep it on screen. If you'll notice, the part we did in stage 10 has these three tabs right here. Well, there's only supposed to be 2 tabs, this one and this one. In this stage, which is 16, it is supposed to have 3 tabs. So they accidentally packed the wrong frame for me on stage 10, so that's why I had some problems. So like I said before, your mileage may vary. You may perfectly well get this proper frame. So we're going to start off by taking this air cleaner, going to turn it upside down, and you're going to notice that there are some lug marks right here, and they are going to match up for sure this time with this frame. And the pins are situated so you can only put this frame on the right way. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to assemble the left air filter box and the fitting of the fuel pipes. Now these fuel pipes do come on a sprue. That's this solid piece right down here. So you need to use your flush cutters to cut these pipes off. So now you have these two these two fuel pipes right here. Alright, now that you have them separated out, there's these 2 flexible silver tubing right here, and all you have to do is just push this onto the end here. They say you might want to use a pair of tweezers, but I don't know how that would make it any easier. Okay, so that's one on there. One is short and one is long. It doesn't matter which one goes on which pipe because they are identical. And there you go. Next, they want you to bring back the left part of the engine here, and they want you to bring back the 2 carburetors that you built. So we are going to put them on. And they're just going to slip in right here. And you want to make sure that the wires right here go behind these carburetors right here. Now you want to turn it around and move these. Oh, this one's a little loose still. There we go. Move these spark plug wires down, and you're going to see, just like on the other piece, there's the 4 holes right here, and we are going to put the fuel pipe on. Okay, this carburetor pack's sitting a little loose. I'm not going to glue it just yet in case we got to take it off, but this is the longer of the 2 tubings, and here's what it should look like. Now, before we end the stage, this did come with these 3 little bolts right here to simulate the caps holding on the air filter. Now, I didn't put them on before when the instructions said so because I was afraid as we were working we would knock these off. So I'm going to put these on right now. And I'm going to be using a needle nose pliers to grab a hold of these. They said use tweezers. I do not recommend that, as they seem to be just a slingshot for small parts. So now those screw caps are in there. And that is actually going to bring us to the end of this stage. So we did these 2 engines with the fuel pipes, and you're going to have this air filter pack left over. So now we're going to move on to stage 17. Now for stage 17, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to have us take this big engine block right here, and here's this detail here. You're going to leave this down here. You're going to want to bring back the left cylinder head. That's going to be the one with the longer pipe that we just put on there, the fuel line. There are 2 pegs under here that are going to go, whoops, into these holes right here. You're going to kind of hold this in place, and if you turn it over down in here, let me
just do it and then show them after.
Yeah, right in there. There's 2 holes right there. 2 A screws are going to go right into there. And now we're going to take the right cylinder head, and we are going to do the same thing. There's 2 pegs, there's 2 holes. Line it right up. Turn it upside down. And in those holes we're going to use some A screws. There we go. This is looking really sharp. Look at that engine. Wow. Now continuing with stage 17, we are now going to put those air filters onto there. One is right and one is left. There are little letters. Oh, let me get the little letters right in there. This one, you have to trust me, says left. And this one says right. Now on the right one, which is this one right here, because they sent me the wrong piece, this tab is not supposed to be here. Oh, shoot. So this is the right one, and this is the wrong piece they sent me. So this tab right here is not supposed to be here, and I'm not entirely convinced that this is supposed to be as long as it is. So when we get to putting this on here, I may have to modify mine. You probably won't have to do this to yours, because you'll probably get the right piece. So let's see how they're going to be doing this. Now I'm going to start off by doing the left, which actually the directions tell you to do the left. If you notice, there's these pins that we put in the carburetor packs previously, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they are going to match up with these pegs right in here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is the right frame with the right side that they sent me, so you want to be very careful. You don't want to scuff up the top of this. Let me get back on camera for you. And you want to push that down onto there. Now, they want me to do the same thing for this side, but it doesn't have this tab on here. But I don't see how it would affect the operation of the pieces. So I don't know whether to cut this off now or wait. What are you saying?
Because it's probably going to affect assembly.
And later on?
Yeah, just cut the tab.
Okay. So what I've decided to do is actually I'm going to cut this tab off right here. Let me go get my flush cutters. And do a little devil be damned right here. Okay, so this is what the frame was supposed to look like when they sent it to me. So now I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to bring this back, and doing those 4 pins, we're going to go into the 4 holes in here. There we go. So those are on there. Again, said it before, say it again. Wow, what an engine. So that brings us to the end of 17. Let's move on to 18. Here we go with 18, and we're going to be doing some transmission work. Here's all the parts. It also included 2 bags of screws, which was type A screws and type B screws. We've already put them away. I'm going to move these up out of the way, and we're going to bring in this bell housing right here. And they want this bell housing cap right here, and this is simple. It's just going to fit right on top of here, and there's 2 holes that line up, so you can't really mess it up, but I'll give it a try. Now there is a hole in the bell housing, and obviously a hole up here. They are D-shaped and they should line up. So that's how you know you've done it right. So there you go. That's done. Okay, so now they want you to get that bell housing cap. You want to turn it over. And then you want to take this piece right here. And you want to just lay it right on top like this. There you go. Now you want to take this housing cover and you are going to put it right on top of here. And of course, you know, these pins on the back here will line up with that. Take your differential transmission housing is what they're calling this, and you are going to attach it so this big bell right here is going towards the back here. Okay, so that is on there, and that is going to be held on there with 2 B screws. Before you start screwing in, you want to make sure that this piece is fully seated down into here. So we're going to be attaching the gearbox, so we're going to be bringing back our engine right here. I'm going to be flipping it over, careful not to scratch this. After you've got the engine flipped upside down, you're going to take the transmission case that you just did here, and you see there's 2 posts here, there's 2 flanges here. This is going to slide underneath here, and they're going to get held in with 2 type B screws. This engine is getting really heavy. While you have the engine upside down, you're going to take this other piece that was put in the stage, and I forget what they're calling this. It's the lower crankcase cover. So you see there's 2 posts in here, and there's 2 posts here. Push this into place. Now when you fit this together, there is a post right here that fits into there, and it's giving me a little bit of trouble. I don't know if I'm going to have to maneuver that down or not. Now when you're squeezing these together, if you want to grab up here, you want to make sure you grab part of the metal engine. Don't grab these carburetor packs or the air cleaner, or you're going to crush them. Okay, so now it's all fit in there. Now we're going to take 2 A screws right here and put this together. Okay, so the bottom of the crankcase is on. And that is it for stage 18. Again, engine really shaping up. Now let's move on to 19. Alright, stage 19. So you're going to take your engine, you're going to flip it up on here. So you got these 2 posts right here. So you're going to take this piece right here, and it goes right on top here. And they are going to get held on with some type B screws. Bring it back down around here, and we're going to now flip the engine over, and you're going to take this piece right here, and it is going to go, turn it upside down like this. You want it here, so these 4 pegs are up front right here. You got 2 pegs right here, and they're going to get held in with 2 type A screws. There you go. And the next part's really easy. You're going to take this cover right here. See the 2 pins that are real close to the bottom right here? They're going to go to the ones real close to the bottom right here. And it just simply snaps into place. And that completes that stage for 19. So we are going to move on to 20. Alright, here's all the tiny little pieces for 20, and what we're going to be doing is putting together the alternator. So you're going to bring back your engine, and if you tip it right here, you're going to see that there is a small square right here with a hole. and this alternator bracket is going to go in there. And the way you do this, if you see this curve right here, this goes up towards the top of the engine. So we're going to lay it right in there, and this is going to get held in there with a Type A screw. Now you may have noticed me using a lot of rapid tap, even though we're going into plastic, and that's because I found that it actually makes it a little easier, even on plastic, going in on some of these small parts. Okay, so now the bracket's in there. Next, you're going to take the actual alternator and you're going to put that together. So you're going to take these two pieces. And the way they go together is you've got these little pins that are going to slide into this little recess right here, so you know you've got it just right. And there are 3 of them all along. Now that you have the alternator together, you're going to notice there's 2 lugs. There's a long one and there's 2 short ones down here. These 2 short ones are going to go in the bracket you just installed, and the long one is going to go in this bracket up here. So we're going to slip these in here. Alright, now as I was getting ready to put this on my bracket right here, you can probably tell somehow my bracket is bent. So I'm going to have to straighten that out, hopefully not break it.
There you go.
There you go, that looks pretty good right there. Alright, so I'm struggling a little bit to get that in there, so I'm going to take some of the paint and all out of it. There we go. Now I'm going to rotate it down. Okay, so now the pin fits into there, and then we're going to put the 2 small ones into this bracket we did. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my needle nose and I'm going to do the opposite. I'm actually going to use them to spread that apart a little bit. And now the alternator fits right in there. Beautiful. Wunderbar. And they want us to take this pulley and they want to take this little fan right here, put that in there, and it goes in the front of the alternator, and the other one goes in the hole right up in here. Pretty cool. Now that we did that, we're going to take the engine, we're going to flip it over, and right up in there, there is a little hole, and that is where this bracket is going to go. So that bracket is in there, and the stud that goes into the engine is a certain shape, so you can only put that in one way. And that is the end of stage 20. We're going to move on to 21. Stage 21, we're going to be doing some transmission work here. What I want to draw your attention to is right here, there is a crazy small spring. You do not want to lose that. I gotta keep telling myself that. Don't lose it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this clutch bell right here, and you're going to take this piece and it's pretty simple. You're just going to fit it right over top, press fit. Okay, so that cover is on there. Bring back the engine, you're going to flip it, and you're going to see that stud right there, and you're just going to simply take this clutch bell and you're going to put that right on top there. You're going to line it up with the see some studs right here. just push that on there. It clicks into place. Now we're going to take this clutch master cylinder right here, and while we still have the engine turned like this, there are two holes right here, and we're just going to fit that right in there. Now, to know which way to put this in here, there are some valves and all right here. They go towards the top of the engine. There it is. Master cylinder is in place. Now we're going to take what they call the control rod right here. And that's going to go into this spot right here and down into the top of the master cylinder that you just did. Here's the end of that master control rod we just put in here. You see there's a small hole in here. Maybe you can't. And you follow it over to here to the master cylinder that we put in, and there is a small tab with a hole in there. Let's see if I can, right here. So what you have to do is we have to take that spring and we have to run it from here all the way over to there. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to actually do that. And the spring, there you go. If you can see, there is a break right there. So that goes on through the hole. I think it'll be easier to put it on through the hole of the master cylinder first. Okay. Alright, I got the one on. Now, let's go over to here. Okay, I'm going to use... First, let's get you on camera. I'm going to use the... Okay. I would surely like to say it was my skill as a modeler that did this, but I think, luck had a lot to do with it. So as you can see, let me get something that's easier to point with. The spring clip is through this hole, and it is through this hole. Yay me. So now that we did such a wonderful job putting the spring and the clutch all over here, they wanted to take this piece right here and cover it all up. So the only one who could appreciate the work you've done is you. What the Alright, let's move on. That brings stage 21 to a very confusing halt. And now we're moving on to stage 22. Here's the parts for a 22. And you're going to bring back your engine, tip it forward like this. And you're going to take the water pump. And there's this little hole right here. And a hole right up here. So they are shaped a certain way. So we're just going to put it right on. There you go. Water pump's all on. And the next thing you do is you're going to take the oil canister right here. And you're going to put this on. And as you can see, there is a little piece right here. It's keyed a certain way. Match this part right here. So you just simply put that on. It is press fit. Make sure it gets on there. There you go. So you're going to take your engine, you're going to tip it like this. You're going to take the starter motor, and there are two little posts right here. Starter motor's got two little posts in there. And you're going to, as you can see, there's like a little starter motor, and there's probably the solenoid. This goes up towards the top of the engine, so you're going to put it on like this. And again, you want to be careful holding your engine so you don't crush anything else you've already done. Okay, so see me struggling there. Okay, so the starter motor's on there, so opening up those pegs definitely helped. Now that you have the starter motor in here, there's a hole right next to here, and that's where this little engine support's going to go, and there's a bit of an angle on it. So you want the angle down, and it just slides right into there. That is in there. You have an engine oil connector pipe right here. Okay, and there is a short and a long side. And there's a hole here and here. You put the short one in here, and the long one goes in here. Goes right into the oil canister. There you go. Next thing you're going to be doing is the dipstick right here. So you take the engine and you tip it over like this. Right down in there, there is a little hole, and you just simply stick that right in there. It's a little tight. There's the oil dipstick right in there. Now you want to take this little T connector you have right here that came in this stage. Let me put this up. Show this up here. And you also had this tubing, and it's going to go right on the end right here. Now the stem of the T right here is actually going to go on the, let me bring the engine back. Remember we had a short tubing and a long one. This one is going to go onto the long side right here. Now, actually you want to have it so it's like this, because what you're going to do now is you're going to bring this around here, and you're going to connect this other side of the T to the short tubing on the other side of the engine. So when you get done, that's how it looks. And with that, this stage 22 is complete. Let's move on to 23. Here's all the parts for 83, all for stage 23. And we're going to be doing some more oil pump work right here. So you're going to bring back your engine. You're going to tip your engine like this. You got this oil breather canister right here. It's keyed a certain way, and it's going to go right here. Again, it's just a press fit. Okay, so that's on there. Now if you notice right here, there's a spot right here, so you're going to take this part they got right here, and you see in the back it's pretty much keyed right so it fits into there. That's all set right in there. Alright, now that you have this oil breather canister on here, you're going to take the oil filler cap right here, and it is keyed a certain way, and it's going to go right in this hole right here. Again, it is just a press fit. Now that's going to leave this hole right here, and up underneath the canister you're going to see there's a hole right there. So you're going to do is you're going to take this breather pipe right here that they gave, okay, and you're going to take this one end, which is the short end. It's going to go right into here, If I can grab it the right way. I can tell right away that's giving me a little bit of a grief there because of the paint. So we use our old trick. And the other end goes right up underneath here. I'm actually going to, even though it's plastic, I'm going to put a little bit of Rapid Tap on the end just to give it some lubrication there. So there you go. It's a real thin end right there, and it goes up underneath here. And that brings us to the end of stage 23. Now we're going to move on to 24. First of all, we switched to a maker's mat here to protect the engine from getting scratched, because we're starting to build the engine up and it looks real pretty. We don't want to damage it. So in stage 24, we're going to be doing some framework to put the engine into. Now, right here, if you turn the part like this, there's two holes right here that get some A screws. Now, what they're recommending is that you, before we do any assembly, you just drive some screws into here and then take them out using, of course, some Rapid Tap. And they're doing that so when it's time to put the engine into here, these screws are nice and lubricated and they're all threaded out just proper. So that's what we're going to do right now. You've got our A screw. We have some Rapid Tap right here. Now, as you're doing this, you don't want to over tighten. You just want to put the screw in there to get it started. Now I'm going to back it out. So you want the piece that looks like this, and they are the two back supports for the lower suspension. And you want to take this side with this tab right here, and it goes right in those two holes that we pre-threaded. Now, before you drive this support into here, you want to take a look at this bracket. And you're going to notice that one side, by the way, this is zip kicker drying out my skin. You're going to notice that one side of the support has this little nibbly bit right here. You want that to face, towards back here. So that's how you want to put this in. Okay, so the two engine brackets are in place. So that brings us to the end of stage 24. Like I said, the only thing I want to reiterate is when you put these brackets on here, like I said, there are two fake nuts that are molded into these brackets. You want to make sure that those fake nuts are facing the wide part of the bracket down here. And you will have these two other brackets left over, so put them aside. You can use them later. So like I said, that's it for 24, and that's it for this pack. Pack 3 is done. So that brings us to the end of pack 3, where we did a lot of engine work. Look at this. This is a massive engine, lots of detail. This is really nice. Now, left over, you're going to have this frame that we did and these two brackets right here, so you're going to put them away. But once again, let's just take a look at that. Kudos to Agora for really beautiful work on this. Well, thanks for coming along with me on assembling pack 3 here of the Agora Models Lamborghini MIURA. It's really starting to come together. I hope if you're doing this and some of the things I showed you, the tips and tricks helped you along the way. Like I said before, I'll put any of the tools that I used and the link to this model or any of the other models, I'll put that below. So until pack 4, when we're going to continue this journey, I'm Steve. Thanks for stopping by the Maker's Cave. I'll see you at the next build.